guys, Samantha from Jessama Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you a cool technique to use with your polymer clay cabochons. And this is part one in a series I'll be doing where I show you different techniques to incorporate your cabochons into your work. So, to start with, you're going to need to choose your cabochon. I'm using this blue tiger eye rectangle that I made a little while back, and this rectangle cutter. You can use any cutter you want. And you're also going to need to choose your clay. I've chosen souffle black and I've rolled that out to about 1 millimeter thick. You're also going to need a teardrop cutter. Also, sometimes you might need it graduated, so if you can find graduated teardrop cutters, that's good. Any teardrop cutter will work though. Okay, so first step is going to be to take your cutter and make a little imprint so that you can see where everything is. Then take your cabochon and position it somewhat in the middle. It does not have to be perfect. And take your piercing pin or something along those lines and just trace around the cabochon so that you can get its shape. And then just lift that out. And it doesn't have to be exact. Okay. And then use your tissue blade to just gently trim around that. And then we will use the rest of the souffle to create our edge. So you're going to take the largest teardrop in my mini cutter set, or whichever teardrop you have that fits, and you want to cut out one. And then just clean up around the edges if it needs to be, and just position that on the edge. And just lift up one edge because you're going to need to, there's going to be a link and you're going to need to slot one underneath that later. Then take another teardrop, one down, and that one don't come out right. You be careful not to distort them. There you go. Just gently clear up the edges and then slot that over the top of that other one. Then I will go down one more teardrop, cut it out, lift it up, tidy it up, and I'll slot it over. And then you'll continue on down, and then over here, once you reach about here, you're going to go up one teardrop, then up another one, and then so on. I'll show you when we get to that corner. Okay, so now I'm just going to go up one, like so, then up another one, and then down one more, and then just go back to your middle teardrop. And actually, yes, that will work. Okay. Just was checking something. Okay, and then just continue up, do the same at that corner, and just continue until about here, and I'll show you what to do. Okay, so I've cut out another one of these to match the one on this side. So out of the three that we have here, the largest, second largest, third largest, it is the second largest. So then you'll just gently pick that up and then just curve it like so. Okay, and I might see, You might need to do a touch of fiddling. This one needs to move over just a touch. Just bear with me for a second. Okay, then we'll just lift this up, make sure that that's curved up. Grab your second largest teardrop and slot that in, like so. Okay, then grab your cabochon and I'm just going to smooth this first before I do anything. And I'm going to pop that down and press. Just hold on one moment. I'm going to lift that back up. I think I might have missed these a little bit. There we go. Okay. Then once pressed, lift this up and just apply a backing. Because it's souffle, I'm just going to use plain clay. Now press that down again just to make sure it's well stuck. Grab your cutter and find the middle spot and press down. And I'm just going to repress on the cabochon. There we go. You should have a very interesting looking border. And then I like to just gently trim around the sides just to make sure that they're really nice and clean, which means that sanding is very minimal later on. And I'll just lift that straight up. Smooth around your edges, like so. And I'll check on the back to see that I'm happy with that. Okay, and I'll pop that off to the side. And that's our first piece. Now I want to show you another one where we're going to be using some coloured clay. Okay, and so for the next one we're going to be using these souffle colours. You'll find them in the supplies. And first we're going to make the backing, so I'm just going to chop up a little bit of each colour, like so. And then you can see that they won't condition, so they shouldn't stick together when I'm doing this. They'll stay in little chunks, which is what I want. And you should be able to chop them up really nice and fine. Okay, almost done. Then take that and gently mix that together so that all the different colours are mixed up together and aren't really sticking to each other. Just make sure you break it up, you don't want large segments of one colour. Okay, then gently flatten that out. Like so. And this is what's going to form our backing. And just get all those little bits together. It can take a bit to flatten it out, but once you've done it, it will look quite nice. Then grab your roller, just flatten that out. Okay. And just squish the edges because they're going to be a little bit ragged. You don't want that. Then I'm going to pop that through my pasta machine on the thickest setting. Then I'm going to take it down to 1mm thick. And there's our backing. Very simple, but quite effective. And then take your chosen cutter, make an imprint, and your chosen cabochon, and this is my black spiderweb jasper, or just plain spiderweb jasper cabochon. And I'm just gonna grab a piercing pin, and I'm just roughly gonna go around the edges so that I can trace out its outline, and that's gonna help me. Okay. Then I've got a sheet of each of the colours that we used, as you can see over here. Oops, sorry, just bringing down the colour because it looks like it's really bright. And then I'm going to take my cutters, and it's basically the same again. You're going to use the largest right on the corner here, then you're going to go down to your medium on each side, and then you're going to go down, 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 and then over here, again, second largest, and second again, and then third smallest all the way up. But the difference here is that we're going to be using different colours. So press down. I'm going to grab a red largest, and then a pinkish colour for the next one, and we're just going to alternate. Like so. And then again, just lift this one up again so that you'll be able to slot it in later. And then just continue down, alternating your colours from red to pink and so on. There we are. You should end up with something looking like this once you have filled in the seam. And so what you want to try and do is you want to try and get the red on each corner if you can. You don't have to, but it's definitely worth trying. So I just want to make sure that that's positioned right. Okay, and I just want to see if that's going to sit correctly too. Yes. Alright, so now one last touch with this one that we didn't do with the last one is we're going to add some silver mica powder. Just going to take a little bit on my finger, and just make sure that your finger is clean first. So I'll just quickly use a cloth to clean that off. Take a little bit of powder, and you just want to run that along the edges, and do this before you put the cabochon in. It just makes it a lot easier because you don't want to get this on the cabochon. You can use just about any shape to do this technique. It's quite effective. And I'll just go around and continue rubbing along the surface. And if you do make a little oopsie, you can always take a wet wipe, just gently smooth along where you made the accident. Like over there, I went a little bit too deep. You can always smooth it out and then just retry. Now continue going, and I might want to add a bit more mica powder, a little bit more heavy, like I was over here with the gold. And then when I'm done, I'll show you how to cut it out. And there we go, that is how it should look. Then once you've brushed off the mica powder on, you can just go and gently give it a light burnish, just using your finger. Then grab your cabochon and center it. Press down. And then use your spear or cutter, whichever one you have, to cut it out. There we go. Lift that away, and you should have quite a pretty piece. And then lift that up and just smooth along your edges. And there's your backing. Now the next step in the process is going to be to make some bales. So you're going to need a black one for your blue tiger eye piece, and you can use your leftovers from the previous pendant to create one for our pink one. So I'll show you how to do one with the black quickly. So just take some souffle, and I'm going to roll that out to about 2 millimeters thick. And you're also going to need something to wrap this around. Now just while I'm doing this quickly, I just want to mention that if you are looking for souffle and can't find it, Linda's Art Spot is a great place to look. She has a bunch of different souffle colours over there, and so if you're looking for some, you can go check out there. I'll have a link to her shop in the description below the video. Okay. Then just take this and wrap it around. And trim. And smooth. And now I'm going to attempt to get it off here. You can use your blade to just gently press along the edges here, and that should start to loosen it up. There we go. Just use that to gently flatten the top. And I'll bring over our pendant. Just find the seam and place it with the seam side down. And this can be a little difficult because you've got the cabochon on, so I might just hold it like so. And then just gently roll that onto the back so that it is firmly stuck. And I'm just going to gently smooth this out. There we go. And that will be a large enough bale to fit the rubber cord that I want to use with this. Okay, and then you're going to bake that in a minute, and I'll just show you how to do that as soon as I've done the bale for this one. Okay, so the next step is going to be to take a cloth, nice soft one, and just to place your pendant on there. And this will keep the cabochon from being having a shiny spot. And then you'll just bake them like that for a full hour at souffle's recommended temperature. And then when we're done, we'll do some sanding, some finishing off. I want to antique this one with silver or gold. I haven't quite decided yet, but I want to antique it. So we'll do a few finishing touches, but for now they need to go in the oven. Okay, so our pieces are out of the oven and they have cooled. So let me just bring those over. And now I just want to point out something. If you sanded and buffed your cabochon before putting it in the setting, like I did with these, they will still be smooth, but you will need to buff them again. You can see that they have lost their buff. Whereas if you coat them in liquid clay, like I have with this one, they will keep their shine. So anyway, just thought I'd point that out. This one we want to antique. So I'm going to grab some gold paint, and I'm going to be using this Lumiere paint. And you can get a good set of these from Linda's Art Spot if you're looking for them. And they're really quite nice paints. So I'm just going to grab a brush quickly. And we'll open this up. I'm just going to pop a bit onto the brush. And you can use any gold paint you want. Okay, and I'm going to try and avoid getting it directly onto my cabochon. Now I'll just continue painting around, and you don't need much, but just continue painting around, making sure that you get into all of the grooves, and also just make sure that you brush away all the excess paint that's going to land in the grooves, because you don't want a huge amount of paint. And just continue until you've gone the whole way around. Okay, and here is how it looks. Now we're just going to grab a wet wipe, and the first place that we want to focus on is around the cabochon. We want to get rid of that paint as best we can. Like so. And just make sure you do a good job of cleaning off your cabochon, because you really don't want any gold pieces or bits and things from the paint on there. And also, before you do this, you want to wait for your paint to dry. So I've waited for my paint to dry, and now I am antiquing. And you can rub off as much or as little as you want. So I'm probably going to rub off as much as I can and just leave it right in the grooves. And now just continue until I have rubbed off as much paint as I want. Okay, and here is how it looks. So next step with this one, since we've got the souffle on it and I don't think it needs to be sanded, we're going to just bring over our buffing wheel. So let me just get that. And we're going to give it a buff. Okay, next step is going to bring over some Renaissance wax, and we're just going to take some of that and just getting some, and just going to rub that on the surface of our cabochon and just on some of these raised areas. There we go. Then grab your buffing wheel again and buff it. There we are. You can see that we now have obtained a much better sheen to it. So I'll pop that to the side, and we are going to repeat with these. But what I just want to point out first is if you don't like the light silver and you want it to be a much bolder silver on this, whenever you're using mica powder, you can try the metallic alcohol inks in the, I do believe it's pronounced Adirondack line. So let me bring over some of those and show you. And here we are. If you use these ones, the mixatives, and you brush them on just like you would mica powders, they'll give you a much stronger finish. So you can try that out if you want. So for this one, we're going to repeat the same process. We're going to buff, then pop some Renaissance wax on, and then I'll show you how it looks when it is buffed. And I'm also going to do the same for this one. Okay, and so the next step is going to be to string. So for this one, I'm going to use a ready-made rubber cord. Just pop that to the back. Easy peasy, all done. And now that's just one way that you could do it. Here are some other ways that you can do it. You can string it on some kamihimo. That's what I've done for this one. You could also string it on some, what's this called? Rat's tail cord that has been plaited, as you can see for that one. So you can mess around with the stringy techniques, it's completely up to you. I've got lots of tutorials where I have shown finishing off pendants, so if you want to go and have a look at those tutorials, please do visit my website, Jessama Tutorials. There's a whole bunch of tutorials on there where I include the stringing part. But for today, I'm just going to be showing you examples that you could use. So, I do hope that this tutorial was helpful to you. If it was, please do let me know. And if you want to see more ways to use your cabochons, let me know in the comments below. I will be doing some more videos like this. And as always, I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.